What's up, guys? It's your boy Brian here. Uh, Discovered I had this old YouTube channel which no one watched, and decided to give this a retry. So for my first video to reactivate my channel and give this another shot, I'm going to discuss the massive biggest deal in gaming history with Microsoft officially acquiring Activision Blizzard the other day for $68.7 billion. So to write to the news, this is a big deal. Microsoft bought one of the biggest gaming publishers with some of the best studios in the some of the more how do I say this? I would say accomplished studios. I wouldn't say necessarily they're the best because, as we all know, Activision has been fraught with a reputation nightmare in what has been going on with their employees, sexual harassment, workplace violence, discrimination. Um, and I'm not gonna discuss that. Obviously, I am on the side of the employees. I believe power to the employees. If they want to unionize at Activision Blizzard, I fully support them, and that's where I'll leave it. I don't. I think we are forced to work for money, and where you go to work is where you're spending majority of your day, majority of your week, and it should be a safe a good environment where you should not be harassed, discriminated against, threatened with violence, experience violence, or anything. Because, hey, let us work from home and maybe we don't care what you do behind closed doors. But since that's not the culture there, that's not what people allow for in America, yeah, work has to be a good place, and I will stand with the employees. That being said, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent there. Uh, Activision, I guess Microsoft came to Activision's help and decided to purchase them for the reported amount of $68.7 billion. Um, and this has massive ramifications for the gaming industry. Obviously, there are going to be people on YouTube who are going to cover, is this a monopoly? Is this fair? Will the US government, DOJ, FTC allow this to go through? There's going to be people who are going to just cry like, this isn't fair. What about all the people who play Call of Duty on PlayStation? Um, I'll address that, but I'm not gonna address the is this a monopoly? Because I just don't know. That's a lot of business and antitrust laws. Um, but what this means for gaming overall, I think this is a very positive for gaming. Now, you're probably stunned because if you ever remember the saying "too big to fail," which they have in the banking industry. You have banks in this country and around the world that are legacy banks, and they're called the Big Four. So you got your JP Morgan, which is like the most powerful bank in the world, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and I believe the other one is Citibank. They're the most powerful banks in the world. They're the big four. No one's going to take them over. And you probably figured that Activision was the gaming equivalent. You probably look at Activision, Electronic Arts, Take Two as too big to fail in the gaming industry. And, well, apparently Microsoft is bigger than them. So they acquired Activision. Um, I think Activision, aside from its disaster PR wise, from what's come out about it, I think gaming wise, they've also been a disaster these last few years. This is the first year in my life that I didn't buy Call of Duty because I just knew it was not going to be anything special. I've kind of gotten tired of Warzone because of the cheaters, because of the over monetization. Okay. Overwatch has gone stale, and a lot of people who cover Overwatch exclusively are worried that Overwatch 2 is not going to reinvigorate the franchise that was once. Listen, I saw people go to bars with the Overwatch League shirts, and bars actually like play Overwatch League in the bars and have events around the Overwatch League. I've actually seen them. I've been to them. And no one's doing that no more. Overwatch is in a decline. Um, they haven't put out many great games aside from those two and Diablo. They don't try new games. They don't try new ventures. Everything is about how they can just monetize it, and they've grown stale, and they focus so much on making monetization that more than they focused on making games. And so I think Microsoft, probably because they want an expansive library for Xbox Game Pass, is going to allow them now to try new ideas and develop new IPs and potentially new franchises that are not just Call of Duty, Overwatch, Diablo, and then in between development cycles. Have someone remaster an old game that they used to make. I mean, Activision used to make a lot of games. I used to have so many games from Activision during the PS2 era. They took up a lot of my library. They don't do that anymore because everything's just Call of Duty, Overwatch, Diablo. Okay, a lot of people who have been long time World of Warcraft people have said that's fallen off. A lot of their IPs have not maintained uh, their loyal fan base. I mean, they still have fan bases. They still make hand over fist money, but not as much as they could be if they really put time and effort into really making these franchises great, and special again. And just like when Call of Duty put out Modern Warfare the first time, oh my God, you know, but that was a risk. They didn't know how it would play, being in a modern setting. It touched on a lot of the issues of the time with terrorism. The country was a lot different, more hypersensitive to terrorism, but they put that out. It sold beyond belief. It was great beyond belief. And we had time with the game because there was, I think, believe a 3-year development before Modern Warfare 2, which was even better. And we have not seen Activision and its studios do something like that where they put something out new and fresh. It blows up, and then we're given time to enjoy it. The yearly Call of Duties, I kind of feel sick of buying Call of Duties because by the time I can really sink my teeth into them, they're already done. It's on to the next Call of Duty. Okay, I need more than a year to really, because I'm not gonna spend most of my life just playing Call of Duty. There's people out there who will, and if you're one of those people, well, get a life. There's more to life than Call of Duty. There's more to gaming than Call of Duty. But you know, year after year, and it's like, okay, new game. I'm starting from scratch in multiplayer. I barely scratched the surface, and I'm just accomplishing less and less and less because it just comes out too fast. So, and I think another thing that people aren't talking about with Xbox is Xbox's commitment to backwards compatibility and preserving the games we love from the past. They've done an amazing job porting over some of the best games from the Xbox One and Xbox 360 generations, and making them available through Game Pass and having a lot of fun with them. Activision made a lot of, like I said, they made a lot of great games during the PS2 era. Imagine that being on Game Pass. Can you imagine that? That's gonna be fantastic. And so now you get a whole host of new games for $15 a month that you used to play about 10, 20 years ago, and now you can play them again. You know, I've been trying to get into retro gaming. It's really hard. It's a lot of you know hardware to buy. It's very tricky. And there's no guarantee that anything's going to work because it's on Asian technology. But if you have someone like Microsoft taking old games that were ported to PS2, I mean, can they buy up THQ Can we buy up THQ and get the rights to the old wrestling games, the SmackDown versus Raws and SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, and port that to modern consoles and PC? Please. I've been dying to play those games again because that's when the wrestling games were at their best. And that's another thing that's not being talked about that I'm really excited for, is that all the back catalogs of games from these studios that came out during the PS2, PS3, Xbox One, not Xbox One, but Xbox original, Xbox 360 generation, they're gonna come back to being playable now because Microsoft is gonna put the money and resources to porting them to the modern console and PC. And I really think that's a great deal for all of us, and it's just available for $15 a month. You don't have to buy all those games all over again. Okay? And if Call of Duty continues to be yearly release, you'll probably get it day one on Game Pass. And if you're like me, who's been spurned by Call of Duty these last 2 years, and be like, I paid how much for this? Paying $15 a month, I can try it. If I like it, I'll keep playing. If I don't have to keep playing it. And I don't feel as bad. Like, Halo Infinite has come out on Game Pass, and it's not. I can't justify paying full price for it in my mind because the multiplayer being free to play is not the best. Although the gameplay play is the best and the most fun I've had in years on an FPS shooter. But the campaign being open world, to me, the open world campaign of Halo just feels like padding. It doesn't feel necessary. Um, and I wouldn't pay for full price for that game. But I pay $15 a month. I play it on my PC. I play it on my Xbox Series S because sometimes I don't want to turn on this big machine. I just want to sit on my couch and game and ignore the world, right? So it's been really good, and it's honestly, to me, it's more pro consumer. It's like the Netflix of game. You can get some of your classic movies on Netflix, some of your favorite movies on Netflix. Netflix is gonna put out new movies that are gonna hit, and they're gonna put out new movies that are gonna be duds. But you don't feel bad because you didn't waste so much money and time and effort to, you know, but I can also understand people's like, I want to own my games. I want to have, I want to have physical copies because I want to lend my games to my friends and stuff. Like, I get that point. I get that, right? So Game Pass isn't for everyone. For me, I like it because I can play games would never think to play and like them and not pay full price for them. Or play some old games and not pay money to get that in my library. Now, the biggest worry is, will they make their Activision's franchises exclusive to Microsoft, which is Xbox and PC? Yeah, I don't see how they won't, because Call of Duty, even though I've fallen out of love with the franchise, and even though sales have dropped over the years, it's still one of the worldwide best-selling games. It just is. And why wouldn't you make it so that people buy your hardware? And before you poo-poo their hardware, listen, a Series S for $399, maybe you get it on sale for 350. I don't know. I think it's like $300. But the Series S, I have one because, like I said, sometimes I just don't want to play on my PC. I just want to play on my couch, sit on my couch. My couch is a little more comfortable than my computer chair for long hours of gaming. Um, and I don't really keep a big friends list on console. So that's kind of like my absolute me time. Like, when I'm on console, it's like me time. The Xbox Series S is a good deal. It may not be as graphically powerful as the Series X, but it's a good deal to me, especially if you are just gonna. I just get games through Game Pass. I really don't buy games on Xbox on console. Can't I haven't bought a game since I bought the Series X because I just pay for the $15 a month and I find something on Game Pass and I play it on console. I mostly buy my games on PC or PS4 because I cannot get my hands on a PS5. So before you poo-poo the idea of buying into, like, you're gonna get a pretty good machine that's gonna run the games pretty good and look pretty good. It's not the best, but if you buy an Xbox just to pay $15 a month, you don't have to ever buy a game. And I would suggest the Series S because you'll save some money. Um, that was my strategy. That's how I enjoy the Series S, and I enjoy it. Every game installed on that console is through Game Pass. You know, and that's that. And I don't stress buying games for it ever. They can have all the sales they want on games. I don't look at it. It's just like I got this library here of games that I just want to explore, and then the games that I really want that have so far bit me in the butt, I buy on Steam. You know, PlayStation exclusives, they're gonna be coming to PS4 because PlayStation can't keep up with the demand, and that's on PlayStation in my opinion because Microsoft secured its supplies. Microsoft, you know, did what it could do against scalpers. And by the time PlayStation figured we should do something about scalpers, Microsoft already was ahead of them in trying to solve that issue. And because people just thought, well, Xbox is not going to have that kind of demand, people didn't bother to scalp them. So right now, if you have a PS5, you shouldn't feel guilty. You shouldn't feel like you need to buy an Xbox. But maybe 3-4 years down the road, that PS5 might not have as many multi-platform titles as it could have had. But if you think this is a console war, then all's fair in love and war. And Xbox essentially dropped the bomb on Nagasaki with buying Activision. How they follow it up, I don't know. They can do whatever they want. Maybe they buy EA. God knows that company is falling off with his games and franchises as well. But I wonder if Activision is even in this place if they didn't have the issues with the employee culture, the workplace culture, if they were making better games and paying more attention to their players, would they even be in this position to sell to Microsoft? Probably not. But but that's the problem with modern gaming. Everything's about monetization, 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 and we're getting left behind on quality. We're getting broken games at release because all you care about is making sure that game has something that you can monetize. And now they want to get into NFTs. And so who knows, maybe Activision serves as a warning to the other greedy CEOs that said, look, you built this company, but you'll bring it down to the point where your shareholders, your board of directors will force you to sell it or will cry for you to sell it because you just keep worrying about monetization. And clearly, I honestly think if Activision actually focused on great games, they wouldn't have been sold. Because what's there to sell? They would be making great games. The monetization would still probably be there, but if you have microtransactions in a great game, then you sort of justify. Well, I don't want to say justify, but you can get away with it because you look at something like Grand Theft Auto, where they make hand over fist on microtransactions because they have a great product on GTA Online. People still play it religiously. So, look, we'll see what happens. I think this is more positive than it is negative. I don't care if you are a Sony fanboy or whatever. I play on PC. Like I said, consoles are just when I don't want to turn on my PC and I just want to chill on a couch for hours and not be bothered. Um, but Xbox made a move, and if they keep making moves like this, and they might not acquire an EA or a Take Two, they definitely won't acquire Take Two. But what's next? Maybe you buy a Konami and you turn that place around, considering they have completely destroyed everything they ever built. Every franchise, they completely destroyed it. Maybe you buy Sega. Maybe you buy Square Enix. Maybe you buy, you know. But I will end on this. With Activision Blizzard now being taken off the board, there is space for any gaming company that puts the time and resources in to become that next sort of publisher that is sort of too big to fail. Who will that be? I don't know. If I were a betting man, I'm gonna bet on Amazon Games, just because they're part of the biggest corporation on earth. Amazon has infinite amounts of cash and resources, and Jeff Bezos is a crazy mother effer who likes to just monopolize and control everything. So the gaming industry is eventually going to be his target. They haven't had a great start, but New World is coming around when they fix it. As they fix it. The concept is there. I like it. Not the best MMO, but it's not the worst. But they just gotta fix things. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think this is a great thing. Honestly, just from a gaming perspective, I don't care about monopolies. I don't care about economics. I don't care about business strategy. I don't care about any of that. I care about playing games and having fun. I'm an old head gamer. Okay, I'm the cranky old head gamer. I play my games for fun, for a good time, for stress release, for millions of other things, and I can't wait to see Activision games be put up on Game Pass day one and not have to invest 60, $70 to try a game that I might not be 100% on. And if a game wins me over, well, great. I'll just keep paying $15 a month to keep playing it. So, that's my takeaway from this. If you think this is going to be something worse, let me know in the comments. I really think people are overreacting. Uh, if they make the games exclusive to Xbox, you just got to deal with it if you have PlayStation. I'm sorry, you have to deal with it. Like, I can't play Returnal right now because I don't have a PS5. And they didn't publish it on PS4, but do you see me crying? No, I have many other games to play. Right? You know? But if you think that these two companies, Sony and Microsoft, should be actively engaged in a console war, well, then this is war. All's fair in love in war, and Xbox just dropped the bomb on Nagasaki. And we'll see what Sony does. I don't think they're really going to do anything because they don't have that kind of cash on hand to just buy up a majorly traded, publicly traded company like that. Maybe they'll buy a few more studios and keep pushing out good exclusives. Hey, and that's fine. And you force people to buy your hardware. But if Xbox keeps publishing more games that don't go to your platform and they are quality, we'll see how the hardware sales tend to shift. It's interesting. People have been pining about this, since the invention of the internet, PlayStation versus Xbox. We'll see. But like I said, they just dropped the bomb, and hopefully we get good games out of it, and that's all I hope for. So anyways, that's it for me, guys. If you liked the video, press the like button. If you didn't like it, well, there's no more dislikes, or you can just hit the dislike button. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.